maintains their principles, maintains who they are, and then as soon as they get out, they get back to revolutionary fighting. That is a brave thing to do. And that is what Baba did. That's what a lot of you are doing, and you do. And I respect you so much for it. You know? And that's really what they wanted to do. He was one of those links. You know, the state, the capitalist state, COINTELPRO, the purpose of that was to break off the youth from the revolutionaries. It was so that we couldn't learn from each other, we couldn't understand each other, we would make the same mistakes that were made in the past, we would make them again. That was the purpose of that. And folks like Baba, who would talk to you, whose minds were open and flexible, as a revolutionary should be, able to hear and understand, see where you agree, where you disagree, and listen. He embodied that and was a real one, as a person you can talk to. Because some folks, very intellectual, and the way they relate to the world isn't always easy to understand. And some folks have no interest in theory and, you know, don't even have a strategic mind. But it really takes someone to have both of those things. And he really did. And it's very sad that he's gone. But they didn't take him. They didn't take him. They couldn't take him. They tried to take him. They couldn't do it. And so to me, that's a victory, because we got to spend our time with him. For all these different times in his life, many of us got to meet him, and we got to learn from him. And that's a victory, and that's a victory for the movement. And I just appreciate him, and I appreciate all of you doing the same thing. Let's just ask, do people know the song of the International? Does anybody know that song? No. It's a good song. It's a good song. Can we sing it? Can we sing it? Can we sing it? All right. Arise, ye prisoners of starvation. Arise, ye wretched of the earth. For justice thunders condemnation. A better world's in birth. No more traditions change shall bind us. Arise, ye slaves, no more enthralled. The earth shall rise on new foundations. We have been not, we shall be all. 'Tis the final conflict. Let each stand in their place. The International shall lead the human race. 'Tis the final conflict. Let each stand in their place. The International shall lead the human race. All power to the people. All power to the people.
Right now we have $80, 40 for our workers here, 40 for me. In addition, like Roland used to say, I want y'all to dig deeper in your pockets till your pockets start screaming, if you can, all right? Make your pockets cry, you see? All right. Also, the Joko Collection, an organization Baba was a member of, they gave us $36 for political prisoners. So I'm gonna give that to Harry, who's gonna send that money to Chip, all right? Longest held political prisoner, Black Panther Party political prisoner. Chip is in his 50th year, and after we finish, I want to go to a website where I want you to go to and sign a petition. We had a petition going on for the last 3 weeks. Try to get Chip out of there. Chip is in a wheelchair. Chip had a stroke, and his back is bad, and he should have been out a long time. All of them. Michelle McGee should have been out a long time ago. So, all right? Okay. J-Mo. That's James.
Okay, all power to the people. I wanted to announce on Friday, May 24th at the AFIDA Center, there will be a program 5 years later, the African People's Liberation Tribunal. I do have flyers over here, but this is the tribunals on the offenses of Mr. Colton, also known as General Topper. There will be a video presentation of the testimony, edited, of course. There will be a discussion of the code of conduct, what led to the tribunal, the methodology, the ideologies that influenced it, and the continuation of the sanctions. There are people here who participated in the tribunal. There are people here who were witnesses to the offenses. So please take a flyer. Even if you're not going, if you could distribute the flyer. So the theater center is kind of small, so we want people to get there on time. Hopefully we fill the house and not have too much of an overflow. But May 24th, 6:30 p.m., 5 years later, African People's Liberation Tribunal.
I met Baba after he was out. I didn't know him back in the day. The one thing that stood out to me about him, we were over at Ronald Freeman's house on, I think it was about 69th and Main. And Baba had a bunch of weapons. To me, that was a signature of his commitment to what it was that he was all about. He never let anything frighten him or turn him around as to his commitment as to what he was doing. He was a soldier all the way. And that's what I remembered about him, or that's what I remember about him. And we may have had differences of opinion, but he was somebody that I always respected, 100%. I salute him. And all that he stood for. Because I recognize a soldier. One soldier sees another. I show.
All right, G2, Sadiq King. G2. Do we really need this? G2.
Power to the people.
Power to the people. I wanted to share something about Baba, but before I do, we had one of the comrades get up and talk about how much he will miss him. You know, if you have that sibling where you always fight like cats and dogs, but you love each other hard. You know, you can fight each other, but can nobody else fight? So with Baba and his comrade Jomo, that's what you had. You know, Jomo talked about the love they had for the comrade, but he didn't talk about how they used to fight. You know, every other week. F Baba. I ain't talking no more.
So we can be real about that. Like everyone else, I miss his presence, but the Comrade went out strong. We can't deny that.
I know.
That's something that I want to live up to, or something that I want to die to. I want to soldier to the end. As Julian said, he soldier to the end. Baba was the type of comrade that he was quiet, but he was deadly. And he was serious. Baba was a revolutionary's revolutionary. I remember we took a road trip up to Northern California. Myself, Harold, Little Joe, Baba, and Leon. And all the way there, Baba was in the books, studying, even on the road. The only time that he came alive was when they started talking about jazz. And who that was, who you could listen to, and within a few tunes, know who the artist was. Harry right here, Harry Carey, had organized a thing to get each comrade to spend time with Baba during the time that Fumi wasn't at the house. And so so when he called me and told me about it, I immediately said, I'll take the next rotation, which was a Tuesday, April 23rd. So now I had heard at the last breakfast about Baba being in Louisiana and this diagnosis. It wasn't certain if he was going to be able to make it back to California. So I didn't know what to expect when I got there. I'm expecting him to be laying up and, and on his deathbed. When I got there, Baba was going to open the door. We sat down, we rapped, he started talking about the books, he started talking about Sun Tzu and how the comrades that came through and then had this debate about certain political issues. And so I sat there for a couple of hours. Fumi came in and sat for a minute, and then they had to go to a medical appointment. So I'm getting ready to get up. So I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and leave, so y'all go ahead and take care of what you got to do. Baba, true to his style, you want me to help your comrade? Now he's the one that's sick, and he wants to help me up and help me get to the door. I said, no, comrade, I got it. But I recall some of the conversations we've had, and I remember Baba telling me one time that we were on the same prison yard in San Quentin, which I didn't recall. And I'm trying to get him, we talking about the different details. He said, well, Comrade, you was busy doing your thing, so, you probably didn't notice me. Another time we had an event over at Cielo's, which is on 32nd and Maple, right off of Main Street. And that's part of the area that Baba grew up in. And he was also a member of the Outlaws. Many of y'all probably heard about the Slawsons and other formations back then. But the Outlaws was in the 30s and the 20s. And that's the set Baba came from. But it was also a set that my brother came from. And my brother joined the Panthers early on. He was 16, 17, and he joined the Panthers. So I was grilling Baba for any little morsel of tidbits because I didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time with my brother. He went to he was involved in some activity with the Panthers, went to prison in 67, got out in 72. A couple of years later, I ended up in prison. So we didn't have a lot of time to spend together. When I came home from prison, it was like we had did time together. I was self-taught in Swahili. He knew Swahili. But by that time, when I came home in the 80s, he was had was a bus driver for RTD. He was had opened up a jewelry store, and he was murdered by the police at the jewelry store, shot 7 times in the back. So we didn't have a lot of time to spend together. So I was really bothered for any little morsel that I could get that could add to my memory of my brother. But Bobby wasn't, he's not a real talkative in that sense. We talk about jazz like that and say he's ready to talk. So I'll miss his presence, but I'm glad that the brother went out the way that we all should go, either on the battlefield or old age. All power to people.
It's interesting that Bobby was an outlaw. That's for about a year when I came out here in 1965. Well, I didn't come out. My mom drove us out here and told us where we was going to go and where we was going to live. I went to 28th Street Elementary School, so I had to throw hands with some of the baby outlaws over that way. So I kind of know a little bit about the outlaws, but then she decided to turn around and go somewhere else, so I didn't see no outlaws anymore. But you know what I'm saying? That's because I was in my mama's car and she was running things. But yeah, I had a little experience with the baby outlaws. And it's painful, it's bittersweet. We talk about Baba. Me and him talked about some very serious and important things that needed to be done. I remember presenting him with this outline for the Youth Manifesto, and he corrected me. He said, brother, look, you ain't no youth. How you gonna write a Youth Manifesto if you ain't no youth? Okay, no.
Lower the microphone.
Yes.
Not your head, the microphone, yes. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, so, and I think we said earlier, he made you sharpen your way of thinking about anything. And he brought out contradictions, but he was also very humble about how he did it. It wasn't like a lecture, it was just like, hey, bro, I kind of see it like this, and we should, let's go back and forth. My last day with Baba was something really special. He was in Kaiser, and I threw him this and he threw me back. And there was a young brother in there who was kind of overseeing, looking out for Baba. He was from the hood neighborhood. And Baba laughed and told me, if I don't get on medicine real quick, this brother might have to throw you up in here. You know what I'm saying? And so he didn't have to worry about his pain medication as long as that young brother was sitting there. So he kicked it for a minute. And then I had brought my notebook because I was going to try to quiz him on some political issues. Don't laugh at me, Harry Carey. But we couldn't get to that. And by that time, when Chip called, I had to answer the phone for him. Me and Chip talked for like 45 minutes about all kind of stuff. And Bob just listened and nodded. And then the therapist came in and she told him he had to get up. And she made him get up, and he didn't want to get up at first because he was starting to hurt a little bit. But then when she got him in position to be able to walk, he kind of like made a little yelp, and that smile came over his face. And we walked about up and down the aisle till we had to make him come back. And then we got him back in the bed, and he was not comfortable. He said, my comrade's gonna move it. The therapist said, no, you know what the hell you're doing. We'll do this. And he got him and he picked him up and slid him back in the seat, and he smiled. He was like, yeah, I'm comfortable up in here. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna miss this, bro. We're gonna miss him. We got work to do. We got the books and things, and we're going to have to do some work, bro. We got a lot of theory and practice to pass on. You got to just be the next man. You can't pass to us, and you got to pass it to somebody else. A whole bunch of somebody else's. I've got a comrade who's 85 years old, and he's been teaching people ever since the middle 60s. He's in the hospital right now, but I'm passing his baton. Teach people how to pass the right into control. Mr. John Smith, I mention his name. He's a soldier in the North of 79. All the soldiers are checking out. My generation, my homeboys, my comrades, my elders, they're checking out. So we gotta pass the baton as many times, as many ways we can. Every chance we get, we gotta pass the baton to somebody coming up behind us. Because they know it's gonna live forever. But the struggle is dark and terrible. Thank you so much for your time. No. All right.
FGP. Okay. We thank the great mystery for another day in this present life that he's given us so we can fight another day. I just want to bring another perspective to honoring our brother. But right, as a revolutionary scientist, right, we all know that the law of conservation of energy is a universal law. And so we look back from the time we got together out of Crenshaw, right? Marvin and Roland, and we come through a lot of